Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. My name is Nate Cap, and welcome to the 11th episode of Outcasting, where I'm sharing bits of science towards freedom. And today I just wanted to further elaborate on the circled dot, the symbol known as the circled dot. And if you didn't get a chance to watch the last episode, number 10, I gave some very important information regarding the pure form of the dot within the circle, or the circled dot. And I definitely recommend going back and listening to that thoroughly, because it's very simple. I tried to make it as simple as possible to understand the principles of the circled dot, so that way you can have a better understanding of how to look at other circles with dots in the middle. So, for instance, the pure form of the circled dot would be understanding the aspects or principles of the circled dot. So the sacred masculine principle would be the dot, and this sacred feminine principle would be the circle. And once we understand these principles, once we understand these aspects of this circled dot, we start to see the pure form of the symbol itself. So then we can apply that to all other symbols or archetypes, such as the zodiac or the bullseye. Now, the bullseye and the zodiac, I think, are really important to put in alignment with the circled dot, because the bullseye is a very simple way of describing the circled dot, and the zodiac is more complex, because the zodiac is about bringing knowledge to the information of the zodiac to unlock so much information that is very beneficial for us. And then the bullseye is more of just understanding some kind of physical archetype to help us understand the target, to understand that, like, for instance, when you're throwing a dart at the target, the bullseye of the dartboard, you have to have good form, you have to have good practice, and you have to have good aim to be able to hit the target, whatever that is on the board. But you know, the main target on the dartboard is the bullseye, because it is the hardest to hit, and it is the focal point of the dartboard itself. So to hit that is to hit right in the center, and that is very difficult to do for most people. Some people are really they're amazing at it, and they can just keep hitting it all day long. But that's because practice and great aim and great form. So the point is to get as close to the bullseye, or hit the bullseye, as possible. Well, that's the same in the reality of trying to discover truth. So when looking at the zodiac, well, what are we trying to do when we're studying the zodiac, especially the zodiac with astrotheology? And on the last episode, I talked about astronomy being important, but I also meant to mention astrology, because a lot of people, I think most people, associate the zodiac with astrology. But astrotheology is what really needs to be understood, because astrotheology is what's going to really help us understand not only ourselves but the world that we live in better. And because it's about understanding the path of the sun, and the sun being the crux, or on the cross, because the sun is the focal point. The sun is what we follow to help us understand when to plant and when to harvest. But also it's about understanding a correspondence to consciousness being raised from, darkness to light. And it is a very, very important way of understanding the point within the circle, because when we bring the knowledge, the pure form knowledge of the point within the circle to the zodiac, well, the light is the crux. The light is the focal point, right? So the sun on the cross is the focal point. So it is the light of the world, and therefore, the circle dot, the sacred masculine principle, is the point. So therefore, it is the penetrative force. The sun is the penetrative force, right? It is the light that penetrates, and the circle is the sacred feminine. The circle is the encapsulating energy that is receiving the light. So therefore, when we look at the circle of the zodiac, it's about the sun moving through the circle, right? It's moving through the circle, meaning the circle is a very abstract, simplified way of the sun moving through the zodiac, moving through the houses of the zodiac, the constellations of each house, right? So that's about getting closer to truth, because once we start to learn the importance of the sun moving through each house, we start to recognize the science of when to plant and when to harvest. That's the whole point of, well, it's not the whole point, but that's a very important point of astrotheology with the zodiac. But if you want to know more about astrotheology, Brandon Martin did an excellent job at breaking that down on the Cubbyhole, and you can go listen to that under the solar, I think it's Solar Mythos. And it's an incredible presentation that he did on there. But my point is, that the circle dot is what is used in there, all underlined as the foundation, as the pure form in that symbol. So the circle dot and the bullseye, the pure form is the bullseye, is the masculine, right in the middle, the point. So because we're trying to get to the point, we're trying to get to the truth. We start out aimlessly, and we're trying to hit the bullseye, right? So I want to do a little test with you guys just to help you think symbolically. So I want you to imagine that you are the camera that I'm holding right now. And I'm going to imagine you're the camera. And you're simply going to look 360 degrees back to my big goofy dome, and you are the observer. You are the focal point. And from your point of reference, where you're standing or where you are looking from, when you're looking at the screen, following that 360 degrees, you just saw trees, you saw green, but the point is you turned your head in a circle, right? But what you didn't see was a line. You didn't see a circle, right? You didn't see an actual circle. Well, that's because there isn't an actual circle, but there is 360 degrees. You are within the circle of 360 degrees. And the circle is invisible because there is no circle. You're just seeing, you're turning your head 360 degrees. I'm turning the camera 360 degrees. And there is no line. However, when looking at a symbol, we use the circle as the 360 degree view, right? The point in the middle would be you turning 360 degrees. You're stationary. So that is how you can think symbolically, because the circle around you is infinite. It goes infinitely, right? And that is important to think that way, to see that way, and to study the circle dot that way. Because obviously with the zodiac holds the knowledge of the sun moving through the houses, right? In a circular way, like the sun going around, well, the sun seeming like it's going around the earth, because the earth is actually spinning around the sun, right? But the point is that it seems like it's going circling around the earth. You can think of it like that too, because it's about understanding, well, I'm not going to get into that, but it's just about like we have to be aware of our perceptions from earth as well when thinking this way. But the point is, it's always what the point is, because it's always about getting to the point. Because if we're not getting to the point, we're not really getting anywhere, right? Obviously, if you want to learn more about that or anything else that I have talked about so far, you can further your investigation on cubbyhole.com. Start at podcast number 1, work your way forward. And if you have found value in this show, please like, share, subscribe, to beat the algorithms, if that even really works. And also, if you want to follow me and listen to my work further, other things that I talk about, including sharing these weekly videos, you can go follow me on Telegram, and you can find me at Outcasting with Nate Cap. And yeah, so hope to see you there, and hopefully you guys are inspired, because this information is only going to get way deeper, and there's so much more to learn always. And life is a never-ending learning session, or it should be. A lot of people give up their learning, which is really sad, but hopefully I'll see you guys on the next episode, and thanks for listening.